Cruise news time. Well, as we celebrate the 4th of July and cruise ships leaving the United States for the first time in 15 months, a news story is out from Barcelona, Spain, that the MSC Grandiosa has returned to port there with passengers who have tested positive for COVID. What did MSC do and what does it mean for cruising? Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news updates. Well, look, we're going to jump into the cruise news, but first I just got to take a moment and just be thankful and to celebrate. We hit 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube. That's a significant milestone. It's been an interesting journey, and we're going to share that journey with you when we go live on Tuesday night. Jenny and I will both be here, and we'll talk about that march to 100,000. But what I thought I would do, I get asked the question a lot, and it may be easier just to put it out to the masses. I know not everybody out there is a cruise creator, but I know people are sometimes interested in how YouTube works, and so I thought I would quickly give you just 3 big ideas on how we got to 100,000 subscribers. Editor Tony here. I know not everybody wants to hear this YouTube stuff, so if you just want to get to the Grandiosa story, go to about the 6-minute mark. But this YouTube stuff's good. It's all the secrets, so check it out. The first big thing is have high energy. If you go back and look at some of the videos from a year ago, people have commented on it. They'll stumble across an old video and they'll be like, wow, you were certainly kind of calm and melancholy. And I saw more interest in the channel when I picked up my personality. Now, we all have different facets of our personality. And if you can bring out that kind of fun, having a party kind of personality that I feel like lives in all of us, then it seems like people connected that more. At least that's what I've learned on this journey. And so now before I do all of these shows, I try to hype myself up. I try to tell myself, Tony, people respond to high energy, so try to pick up the energy. And it's super noticeable. Like when I have a show that's low energy, there'll be people in the comments saying, man, are you down today? What's the problem? It's just a choice. And so one of the things that you can do is you want people to connect to you. You want people to feel your energy. And so when you're on camera, when you're making content for people to consume, kick up the energy a notch. Big tip number 2 is become a good YouTuber. If you want to be successful on YouTube, if you want to see your influence on YouTube grow, if you want to be able to talk to more people through YouTube, then be a better YouTuber. I know that seems intuitive, but a lot of people resist it. Like, oh, I don't want to learn about my analytics, or I don't want to learn the best practices or the tips and techniques to be a better YouTuber. Well, it works. The more I've learned about YouTube, the more I've learned about understanding how growth works on YouTube, we've grown. And so it's hard to dismiss the idea that if you become a better YouTuber, you will have YouTube success. Again, I know it seems super intuitive, but I see people in the community sometimes resisting that. I don't want to learn this. I don't want to do this. This is not what I want to do. And it's simple things like understand what your title and your thumbnail means for people coming to watch your content. Make better thumbnails, make better titles, make it so that people want to watch what you're doing, because you might have the best content once people get into the video, but if people never come to the video because of your title and your thumbnail, then you've put a lot of work into your content that not a lot of people will see. Learn thumbnails, learn titles, learn analytics, learn which analytics matter. And tied to that, number 3, try to understand what the people want to see. I was resistive to this in the beginning, but this is the best lesson that I've learned. It's pretty easy to understand what people are interested in. Go to some of the popular YouTube channels in cruising and look in the comments. What are people talking about? What are people concerned about? That doesn't mean you get a pass from making your own content, but what it does mean is you make your own content around the ideas and the concepts that people are interested in. I've spent the last 15 months talking about cruise news, and part of my everyday routine is to try to figure out what people are interested in and then put my own spin on it, put my own message on it. So it's important to understand what people want to see. And here's a couple bonus tips. Number 1, be careful who you're listening to. If the person that you're listening to tells you to make less videos or don't do this or don't do that, but they don't have any YouTube success at all, why listen to them? It doesn't make any sense. The naysayers will be the naysayers, but if the naysayers can't back up their naysayingness with some sort of success, then why emulate that? I see it all the time. People listening to the unsuccessful and hurting their own YouTube journey just because they want to be one of the cool kids. It doesn't make sense to me. And bonus tip number 2 is ask people to subscribe to your channel. YouTube has crunched the numbers. The people at YouTube themselves said a best practice is to ask people to subscribe. It's an old principle. You did not receive because you did not ask. It's in an old book. But yes, ask. Find a creative way to invite people to subscribe like I'm going to do right now. If you're brand new here, if you enjoy cruising, if you enjoy some YouTube tips, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. Thank you in advance. And look, there's probably 100 things you could do right now to grow your channel on YouTube, but if you start with just a few and try to get those things down, have better energy, be a better YouTuber, and understand what people want to see, you might get to the 100K. I've said this before. I mean, there's a lot of creators out there. We're all on the same journey. We're just at different spots on the journey. And so honestly, it's exciting. I'm so excited to celebrate all the hard work that Jenny and I have done over the last 4 years, resulting in this milestone. I hope that helps people out on the YouTube journey. I know most of you are here for the cruise news, so let's talk cruise news. We got COVID on the MSC Grandiosa. How did MSC handle it, and what does it mean for cruising? Well, here's the deets. The MSC Grandiosa went on a 7-day Mediterranean cruise. They returned back to Barcelona yesterday for passengers to disembark. Now, on Friday, they did a COVID test. Now, this is the 4th COVID test for the people on the MSC Grandiosa. You test at the beginning, you test during the, all in all, you got 4 tests. This was the test to get off of the cruise. And during that testing, they found 3 positive cases of COVID, all asymptomatic. So not showing any symptoms. It was the testing that revealed the COVID, not any kind of people showing up sick, that kind of thing. Young people, the source material I'm looking at did not say whether these passengers were vaccinated or unvaccinated, but MSC, one of the cruise lines that are cruising commingled, both with vaccinated and unvaccinated. Everybody has to wear a mask in public places on the inside, and everybody has to get tested frequently on this cruise. 2 of the passengers testing positive were from Barcelona. One of the passengers testing positive was from a town west of Barcelona called Zaragoza. All 3 of them, of course, wearing the wearable device, which allows MSC to do contact tracing. Contact tracing identified about 14 people that these 3 had been in close contact with. All 14 were tested. They all tested negative. So when the ship returned at its normal time in Barcelona, the 2 people that lived in Barcelona, they were taken by special transport back to their homes so that they could begin a quarantine process. And then the person that lives in Zaragoza, they were taken by special transport to a hotel where they would quarantine. I'm not sure the length of the quarantine, but there will be some sort of quarantine period. And then these folks will be cleared, probably tested again to make sure that they test negative. So I hope you noticed the key thing there. The ship returned at its normal time. These protocols kicked in, and then the ship loaded up again and went back out cruising. COVID will be a part of cruising going forward. The question will be, have the protocols worked? Did the protocols kick in? And it certainly did here on the MSC Grandiosa. Look, I'm super hesitant to even talk about these cases because I do believe that this is going to be part of the new cruising normal, where cases are identified through testing, asymptomatic cases, not people presenting themselves as sick, and where people have to quarantine, go through the protocols. But the big thing is these are events that are planned for. It does not disrupt cruising. It is just part of the process. Cruising, like no other form of travel, extensive testing, looking for the COVID, and of course finding it primarily in asymptomatic people. There'll be a time, I'm sure, where they find somebody who's presented with symptoms, and those protocols will kick in. But like I said in a previous video, the big takeaway for the cruising faithful is that COVID, at least in this form, will not shut down cruising. Really a non-story here, and it's going to be part of the normal cruise life, dealing with COVID. And the cruise lines, they've spent the last 15 months getting ready to do that, and their protocols are proving effective, as we've seen in this story here with MSC. Let me kick the question over to you. When you heard that there was COVID on a cruise ship, did you go, oh no, that's bad? Are you starting to get to the place where you realize that that's just going to be part of normal cruising? Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. Again, happy 4th of July. Please hit the like button, or everybody that's coming to your potluck today is bringing tuna casserole with eggs in it. It's Tony with Lido, Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.